Hey y'all, my name's Audie Cherry. I'm a second year PhD student here at Clemson, and I am excited to get to know everybody. Some of you already know, so I'm excited to get to spend more class time with you. Um, Full disclosure, this is the same bio that I used for AgEd 6810, so some of it will be a little bit different or a little bit outdated. My dog Millie on slide 6, she's no longer with us, so I wanted to update that because I really miss her. But what I've done is put a collage on every slide and then kind of just gone through the pictures on there, so hope y'all enjoy it.
Where were you born and raised? I spent the first 18 years of my life in Webster County, Kentucky. And I had a lot of different things that influenced my life as far as being raised there. It's a small town, and it really taught me through various experiences, some good, some bad in my life, how important community is. And that's something you don't get everywhere. So I was very fortunate in that. Our county had growing up had two major industries, the coal industry and the agricultural industry. I would argue that coal is part of agriculture, but it's a little bit different as well. So now the coal industry has left the county. The county is drying up economically. It's declining. So, there's kind of the issues that come up with that. But I grew up and if you look in the top middle there, that's our family's business that is no longer open, and we service coal mines, and we also worked on vehicles. So that was a large portion of my life. Being a part of that, I would have been the third generation to take that over. And then on the bottom there, I've got some cattle. I grew up working on various farms. When I was 12, I started working on a farm in tobacco and working in a tractor moving hay bales. So I kind of got the work ethic there. So that's really cool about an agricultural community. And then in the top left, the Webster County Schools. Our school district is the largest employer now in the county since coal is not there. I was there all the years of my educational career up until graduation, and then I taught there for 4 years as well. Beneath that, you see an old church bell. That's our old church bell at the Fairview Church of Christ, where I spent a lot of my time growing up and ended up preaching there as I taught there as well for 4 years. And then down in the bottom left, that's our church camp logo. I'm on the board there now, but that's where I met my wife. That's where I got engaged to my wife and where I married my wife. So it's a very important part of my life and a very important part of my raising. We've got the FFA emblem on the right. I was involved in FFA, interested in FFA before I really understood what FFA was. Served as our chapter's chaplain and then president. A huge part of my life, the leadership skills, the leadership development, the work ethic that you learn, the communication skills, all of that. And then the bottom right, we've got a globe. My great-grandmother was a World War II refugee. So I got to grow up with a little bit of a foreign influence. And so that was really neat because it was a perspective that a lot of people in a small town don't have. And I think that really encouraged and motivated me to get out and do a lot of the international projects that I've been a part of. And so collectively, all of that has played a huge part of the work ethic, the drive, the global mindedness that I have. And I'm forever grateful for it. Tell us about your family. Well, family next to my faith is the most important thing in my life, and there in the top left, that's the family that I get to call my own. That's my beautiful wife, Tori, and my son, Silas, who just turned 9 months old last week. Tori, before she was willing to sacrifice everything and move for me to get a PhD and then move again to transfer to Clemson, she owned her own business. She's got 2 bachelor's degrees. Now she takes care of our baby, and she's just amazing. And I'm so thankful for them. Next to that picture is our nephew, Weston, my sister's son, who has just been the best cousin to Silas that we could ever possibly ask for. He is all into motocross and got a dirt bike this year, and he is wild as can be. And then in the top right there, that's my family. So my sister is the one to the left of Tori, and then her husband, and then my grandparents up in the top left, and then my parents in the top right. Down in the bottom left, I mentioned how successful Tori has been. This is at her graduation. Tori has had a lot of health issues, and she had took a semester off when we got married, and she still graduated with a 4.0 and has 2 degrees, and I'm so proud of her. In the bottom right, that's the day Silas was born. Never forget it. And then our family after worship on Easter in 2022. And then there in the bottom next to Tori and I is my parents. My parents had a horrible motorcycle accident, and that was one of those things about community coming together. I got to see our community come together to support our family, and they have just been one of the examples of just grit, determination, and never giving up. And so I'm so thankful for my family, the lessons I've learned from them, and the growth that they continue to push and instill in me. I have to say that friendship is one of the greatest blessings that has ever been put in my life. And so I've been very blessed my entire life to just be surrounded by good people. In the top left, that's an Aggie wedding. My roommate James, who we roomed together at Murray State, we knew each other through FFA, and I somehow convinced him to drive down to Texas with me so I can see the campus at A&M. And by the time we left, he said, I'm coming here too. So we roomed together again. It was awesome, and he has a wonderful family. And then in the top middle there, that is one of my former students with me, Joel, who traveled to the Philippines with me. And all of those people are so just near and dear to my heart. I'm so thankful for all of them. The top right is a family that I just absolutely love. The Manglikmots. They're a Filipino family. They're in Frankfort, Kentucky. I did an internship there, and I got to be very close with them, and I just love them. Joey, the man there, has had some major health issues after an aneurysm, and so he is on the road to recovery. Underneath that, you can see that's Logan, Alex, and Gabrielle. They were on our state officer team. Some of my best friends. This is us getting our American degree. Logan got his the year before. They are in central Kentucky as well. Gabrielle's in western Kentucky. And then the bottom left there, that's me and Lazarus. His parents, John and Kelly, are some of our best friends. They're just two great people. And so I wanted to include them on this. And then the bottom right picture and the picture next to me and Lazarus, those are some of the best friends that we have in Kentucky back home. Just awesome. We live just across town from them, and we spent quite a bit of time with them. They've got two kids, Hogan and Kira, who are just some of the best kids you've ever seen. And then Jared and Sierra, who are awesome. The bottom right there, we went to a Supercross race in St. Louis. And then the one on the left is Lookout Mountain in Chattanooga. And then the one kind of in the middle, those are our great friends, Miranda and Earl. And they've got a baby on the way, which is awesome. This is at their wedding. This is the only picture with me and them because Tori and I photographed the wedding. And so most of the time I had a camera in my hand, but this is one of those opportunities I was helping, and Tori caught this picture. They are sort of close to St. Louis. And then the bottom picture there is my best friend, Bo. Bo is awesome. Bo's one of those people I kind of have to reel back in sometimes, but he is awesome. He lives close to Memphis, Tennessee. Friends are something that I've been blessed with. So thankful that God has put good people in my life. I'm not sure if looking back to high school is supposed to be something that's supposed to make us feel old, but it certainly does me. I graduated in 2010, and I just tried to be involved in as many things as I possibly could. You'll see there in the bottom right, it's the FFA emblem. I was involved in FFA. I was president of our youth council. I was in beta, skills, FBLA. I was the only guy my senior year that was in FCCLA, so that was kind of cool. I just tried to be in as many things as I could. I played varsity basketball, didn't play my senior year, and I played varsity baseball 8th grade through senior year, and there's a couple pictures of me there playing baseball. I pitched, played outfield, and then my senior year I played third base. Bottom left is a youth group trip. Youth group was extremely important to me. My faith is the most important thing to me, and in high school, even though you do dumb high school stuff, it was still the most important thing to me. And then the top middle, that was a youth retreat. And then the top right, school spirit was a huge deal to us. On our baseball team, the senior guys, we would dress up and go to all the district games. And sometimes we got in trouble. We won't go there, but I've learned and grown a lot. And then the picture to the bottom left of that is homecoming my senior year. So I tried to always, like I said, try to always be involved in as much as I can, but loved high school, glad I'm not there anymore. As far as hobbies go, I would say that pretty much anything that has to do with our family is something that I want to do. There, kind of in the middle, you can see a picture of Silas, and I don't know if you can call watching my child a hobby, but I enjoy watching him jump in his jumper, and I enjoy spending time with him and with my wife and with our dogs. Two dogs there, the black one there right in the middle, that's Riley, and the one above that is Millie. I just want to spend time with our family. You can see Tori's in a few of these pictures, but together as a family, we enjoy travel and we enjoy photography. So I'll just kind of tell you where some of these pictures are. And All of these pictures, other than the ones that I'm in, are pictures that I have taken. So in the top left there, that's Tori and I at the World War II Museum in New Orleans. There in the middle in the top, that's a bison out at Wind Cave National Park. I was extremely too close. Tori made that very clear to me as she yelled down into the valley, "Get away from that buffalo." And then the picture next to that, that's at the Badlands National Park. We drove out west one fall break and took our dogs with us, and it was it was so much fun. And Tori was pregnant. So Silas has been traveling like that as well. And then that's at Cuyahoga Valley National Park there in the top right. Got a crane there. And then below that, that is Lover's Leap at Lookout Mountain in Chattanooga. And then the Grand Canyon below that. To the left of that, that's Tori and I at Jackson Square in New Orleans. To the left of that, it's the Painted Desert out in Arizona. And then to the left of that, that's Tori and I at Niagara Falls. And then above that, coming back around through the circle, that's the Twin Peaks there outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. So we love to travel. We love photography, something we just enjoy doing together. Something that I believe makes me unique is my ability to catch on to other languages. So I have 7 different languages in addition to English here represented, and I'll just kind of go through those and tell you kind of how I've picked up on them. It by no means means that I'm fluent in any of these, but that I'm able to communicate or to use effectively. So in the top left there, that's a Greek manuscript. The New Testament is written in Koine Greek. I've had 2 graduate level semesters of Greek, and I'm a little rusty, but I can get pretty good through the New Testament. And then in high school, I took 2 years of Spanish, but I grew up kind of with the mentality of like, I don't need to learn Spanish. I wish I would have cared and realized how natural languages come. But I got the opportunity to teach a lot of Hispanic English language learners in high school, and so this helped me develop that skill quite a bit more, probably more than I ever would have in high school as a student anyway. And then in the top right, during my master's program, I spent a semester in Haiti doing research, and so I learned a little bit of Haitian Creole. Strangely enough, I got to use it as a high school teacher when the front office couldn't understand a student on the phone. So they called me and said, "Hey, we heard you can speak some of this." And of course, I'd use Google Translate because internet issues don't translate the same as agricultural issues. And then the bottom 4 are all Filipino languages. So the one on the bottom left, and the colors are where they're spoken. That's Tagalog. So I speak a little bit of Tagalog. That's the national language of the Philippines. The next one there in the red, that is Hiligaynon or Ilonggo, depending on which region you're in. But that's the island of Negros, the islands of Iloilo. That's where those are spoken. And then the next one over, the one that has the most, that is Cebuano. And so Cebuano has a lot of different variants, Bisaya. Anyway, that's the one that I'm most competent in and can preach in it and can have, full conversations, that kind of stuff in. And then the next one on the right is Samareño or Waray, depending on what region you're in. So one time I was traveling and had to use all 4 of these languages and English. So it can be kind of crazy. But anyway, I think that makes me pretty unique. Since there were questions about career goals and about high school, I thought it'd be kind of neat to bridge that gap. Since I've had some other college experiences and other careers that I've already been a part of, I wanted to include those as well. So in the top left there, I got my bachelor's from Murray State University in 2013, Go Racers, and it was in agricultural science. And then I got my master's in 2015 from Texas A&M University in ALEC and International Ag Development. And then I have basically a half of a master's in New Testament. Half of those credits have been at Heritage Christian University, and half of those have been at Freed-Hardeman University. And then there in the bottom left, I spent a semester at Penn State University, and then I transferred here to Clemson. So I gave up the Nittany Lion and traded it in for a Clemson Tiger, and I'm very happy with that decision. And then as a professional, you see the school logo once again. I taught for 4 years. I taught 2 years down in Tennessee as well, but FFA has been a huge part of my life. As a high schooler, as a college student, as a professional teacher, as an FFA advisor, it's been a huge part of my life. And then Western Kentucky Youth Camp there again, that's where I met my wife and got engaged, married her. I'm still on the board there. It's always going to be a part of my life. I go there every summer. Top right, I worked even after college. I spent almost a year working at our family business. And then like I said, I had cattle of my own for about 10 years. And then I preached for 4 years at Fairview Church of Christ down there. And I preached for about a year at another congregation as well. And then I've preached off and on in other places. And then the bottom right, I've done mission work in the Philippines since 2012. And I continue to do that. So I do agricultural work and we do evangelism as well. But if that's something you're interested, like if you want to go, please reach out to me because I love taking people to be a part of that. I'm planning on going in July of this summer for about a month to do some research and work with our school that we opened last year. As far as career goals, I'm hoping that this PhD will get me an associate professor position. And the top 3 goals there are things that are more university-based, I guess you could say. And so the first thing is I want to advance agricultural education, not just the model you see there, not just the 3-circle model we know, but I want to advance agricultural education as a discipline, as a researcher, as a professor, maybe as a teacher educator, whatever position I'm in, I want to advance that mission. And then I have this dream of developing a curriculum for English language learners. I won't go into detail, but I'm very passionate about ELL students and reaching diverse populations through agricultural education. And then number 3, I want to take agricultural education globally. Not just work here, but I also want our students here to understand global ag issues, but then I also want people around the world to understand agriculture in their context and in global context as well. And then the bottom ones I would say are more faith-based. The bottom left there is that's a picture of the Banaue rice terraces in the Philippines. I want to continue to work in the Philippines. We have a school that we've started that is starting its 2nd semester right now, and I want to see that continue. We are adding vocational education to that, and so I'm so excited to have that be a part of what I get to do, and maybe one day form partnerships with the university that I work at. The middle one is no matter what I'm doing, no matter where I am, I want to continue to preach. Maybe not as a full-time, maybe not as a career per se, but I have to be in the Word, and preaching is just part of who I am. And then the bottom right is I want to look for other opportunities to reach people through agriculture and reach people through evangelism, through the mission work that I do, whether they're in the Philippines or not. I want to thank y'all for listening to my presentation. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. I look forward to getting to know you as the semester goes on. Thank you very much.